Once upon a time, there lived a mother goat who had 3 little kids. The eldest and the middle one were cheeky and headstrong. The youngest was diligent and kind. As the old saying goes, 5 fingers live on one hand, and no 2 are the same. One day, Mama Goat called her kids in from the yard and said, "My dear little ones, I'm going into the forest to bring back some food. Lock the door behind me, listen to each other, and do not open the door until you hear my voice. When I return, I shall give you a sign, so you'll know it's truly me. And I shall say these words. 3 little kids, my dears, open the door, no fears. For Mama brings you leaves so sweet, warm, fresh milk and salty treat, a hearty loaf for little tummies, and flower posies, gentle and sunny. Have you heard me well?" "Yes, Mama," said the kids. "Can I trust you?" "Don't worry at all, Mama," the 2 older ones rushed to answer. "We're big boys now, and our word is our word." "If that's so," said Mama Goat, "come, let me kiss you." "May God keep you from all harm. Stay well, go safe, Mama," said the little one, tears bright in his eyes. "May God help you return soon and bring us food." Mama Goat went on her way. The kids shut the door and slid the bolt. But, as the old saying has it, the walls have ears and windows have eyes. A wolf, none other than Mama Goat's old friend, Uncle Wolf, had long been waiting for a chance to gobble up the kids. He had listened at the back wall while Mama spoke to them. "Good," he thought. "Now's my time. If only their foolishness makes them open the door, what a feast I'll have." He came to the door and began in a rough, growly voice. 3 little kids, my dears, open the door, no fears. For Mama brings you leaves so sweet, warm, fresh milk and salty treat, a hearty loaf for little tummies, and flower posies, gentle and sunny. Hurry now, my darlings, open for Mama." "Hey, boys," said the eldest, "jump up and open the door. Mama's come with food." "Poor me," whispered the youngest. "Don't you dare make the mistake of opening, or we're lost." "That is not Mama. I know her by her voice. Mama's voice is not so rough and hoarse. It's softer and prettier." Hearing this, the wolf slunk away to a blacksmith and had his tongue and teeth filed to make his voice sound thinner. Then he came back and called again. 3 little kids, my dears, open the door, no fears. For Mama brings you leaves so sweet, warm, fresh milk and salty treat, a hearty loaf for little tummies, and flower posies, gentle and sunny. "See," said the eldest. "Didn't I tell you? It's Mama." "But what if someone else comes," said the little one, "and says, 'Open the door, for Auntie's at the door'? Would you open then as well? Don't you remember? Poor Auntie has been gone since the white wolves roamed. She is long, long gone." "Listen here," said the eldest. "This is what happens when the tail thinks it's the head. If we keep arguing with you, we'll leave Mama out in the cold all day. I'm opening." At that, the little one darted up the chimney, bracing his feet on the hearth and his nose in the soot. He kept as still as a mouse and shook like a reed with fear. The middle kid popped quick under a wooden bench by the hearth, curled into the smallest ball he could, silent as earth itself. Running away may be silly, but it keeps you safe. But the eldest slipped behind the door and, pull or not to pull, at last he pulled the bolt. And what should he see? But had he time to see? Uncle Wolf stood there, eyes gleaming, throat burning with hunger. Before the poor kid could move, the wolf grabbed him by the neck, bit off his head, and gobbled him up so quickly and greedily you'd think he hadn't eaten in a week. Then he licked his lips in delight and began pacing around the room restless, muttering, Did my ears trick me, or did I hear more than one voice? Where are the others? He peered here and there, but the other kids were nowhere. Strange, he grumbled. No scythe at home and no kids in sight. Well, let these old bones rest a moment. He sat, creaking and heavy, on the wooden bench by the hearth. Something cracked, or the bench gave, or he sneezed. Hard to say which. The middle kid under the bench couldn't hold it in. His back itched from fear, and a bad impulse took him. Bless you, dear uncle. Aha! You little trickster! There you are, cried the wolf. Come to uncle. Let him give you a kiss. He lifted the bench, grabbed the kid by the ears, shook him, and plucked him until the poor thing came apart in scraps. Just as the saying goes, every bird perishes by its own song. Then the wolf prowled again through the house. But the youngest kid was silent in the chimney, as quiet as a fish in a kettle on the fire. Seeing there was nothing more to be found, the wolf set a vicious mischief in his mind. He propped the two severed heads in the windows with their teeth bared in grins, smeared the walls with blood to sting the mother's heart, and then left, trotting off along his way. As soon as he was gone, the little kid slid down the chimney and locked the door tight. He scratched his head and wept bitterly for his brothers. My dear brothers! Had they not given in, the wolf could not have devoured them. And poor Mama, she doesn't know the calamity that has fallen on her house. He cried and cried until faintness took him. But what could he do? It wasn't his fault. What they sought, they found. Meanwhile, Mama Goat came as fast as she could, panting, loaded with food. From far away she saw the two heads in the windows grinning with teeth. My dear sweet boys, how happily they wait for me, smiling when they see me. Boys of Mamma, my dear little ones, joy pressed at her heart. But as she drew near, a chill like ice slid through her veins. Her legs weakened. A tremor took her whole body. Her eyes clouded with webs. Something was terribly wrong. Still she went on, step by step to the door, hoping her eyes deceived her, and spoke the sign. 3 little kids, my dears, open the door, no fears. For Mama brings you leaves so sweet, warm fresh milk and salty treat, a hearty loaf for little tummies, and flower posies gentle and sunny. The youngest, now the first and the last, sprang up and opened the door. He threw himself into his mother's arms and, with tears of blood, told her, Mama, Mama, look what happened to us. A great fire and flood have fallen upon our home. Mama Goat stared around the house, frozen with terror. She gathered herself, steadied a little, and asked, What happened here, child? What could it be, Mamma? As soon as you were gone, someone knocked and called. 3 little kids, my dears. Open the door, no fears. And my eldest brother, foolish and restless as you know him, rushed to open, and then I scrambled up the chimney. The middle one hid beneath the wooden bench, and the eldest, careless as ever, slipped behind the door and pulled the bolt. And then, horror! Our dear friend and your sworn companion, Uncle Wolf, stood in the doorway. Who? My compadre. He? The very one who swore on his own hair he'd never frighten my children? Yes, Mamma. As you can see, he filled them with fright indeed. Just you wait, said Mama Goat, her voice low and steady. If he thinks a poor widow with a house of children is an easy mark, he's chosen the wrong roof. No deed without its due. He even grinned at me sometimes and flashed his tooth. He doesn't know me yet. I am not one to jump fences. Hush, Uncle. This time you've yoked your oxen to the wrong plough. You'll come home with no horns. Oh, Mamma, said the little one, leave him to God. There's a saying, don't even cross yourself when you see the devil. No, my child, Mamma answered. Between us and God, the saints take their due. And mind my words, if his nose so much as sniffs near this place again, then just watch. Only you. Say nothing to anyone, so he suspects nothing. From that day she watched for her chance to pay Uncle Wolf back. She thought and thought. How to do it, and what to do. Aha! She said at last within herself. I've found the remedy. Be still, goat. He'll bite his paws for this. Near her house there was a deep pit. There lay Mamma Goat's hope. Time for washing in the tub, Uncle Wolf. There's no other way, she told herself. She rolled up her sleeves, tied up her skirts, stoked the fire, and set to cooking. She made stuffed cabbage, she made fish stew, corn pies and sweet cheese pies, and all manner of dishes. Then she filled the pit with live coals and rotting wood, so the fire burned low and hot. Over the pit she laid a thin lattice of twigs and leaves, sprinkled earth upon them, and spread a mat over all. On top she set a little stool made of wax, especially for Uncle Wolf. She left the dishes to simmer, then went into the forest to find her friend and invite him to the feast. She walked and walked through the woods until, by a grim ravine and a shady thicket, she came upon Uncle Wolf. Good day, Uncle. What wind blows you here, he said. And good health to your heart, Uncle. Your look tells the tale, said Mamma Goat. Need drives you where you'd rather not go. I don't know who came to my house while I was away, but whoever it was did a terrible deed. How so, dear compadre? They found my little ones alone, killed them and chopped them. Oh, I wept to see them. May no one ever be left a widow like me. She wiped a tear. Say it isn't so, cried Uncle Wolf. Whether I say it or not, it's done, she sighed. The poor darlings are gone to the Lord, and our duty is to care for their souls. So I've cooked a small memorial, as I could, and I thought to invite you as well, Uncle, to comfort me. Gladly, dear compadre, said the wolf, though I'd have been gladder if you'd called me to a wedding. I believe you, said Mamma Goat, but things are not as we wish. They're as the good Lord wills. Mamma walked before him, weeping softly. Uncle Wolf followed, pretending to weep too. Oh, Uncle, oh, she sobbed, what a sorrow. What you love most is what you lose. True, true, sighed the wolf. If a man knew what would befall him, he'd guard himself beforehand. Don't break your heart. One day we all must go there. So it is, said Mamma Goat. But my poor little chicks, they went so young. Ah, yes, said the wolf piously. It seems the Lord loves the youngest ones best. So talking, they came to Mamma's house. Please sit, Uncle, she said, placing the little wax stool right over the hidden pit. Sit here and taste what God has given. She tipped the cabbage rolls into a big bowl and set them before him. Uncle Wolf began to eat greedily. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Down went the rolls, hardly chewing. God rest the little ones, he said. These are fine cabbage rolls, compadre. And as he stuffed himself, fuff! Down he crashed, stool and all, into the pit of coals, for the wax had melted, and the twig lattice was weak, neither too strong nor too weak, but just right for Uncle. Well now, cried Mamma Goat, payback time, Wolf. You messed with the wrong goat, and the goat has had her say. Ow, compadre, my paws, howled the wolf. Please pull me out. My heart is burning. No, Uncle, said Mamma, calm but fierce. So burned my heart for my little ones. The Lord may like very young chicks. I, however, prefer the older ones, if they're nicely roasted, you know, so the fire passes through. I'm scorching, dying, have mercy. Fire for fire, Uncle, death for death. You quoted scripture to me once, now taste your own sermon." After that, Mama Goat and the kid brought a small haystack and tossed it into the pit to damp down the flames, then fetched stones and whatever they could, and threw them in until Uncle Wolf was finished for good. Thus the poor goat lost 2 kids, but she also made an end of her treacherous uncle. And when the goats of the neighborhood heard of it, they were very glad indeed. They gathered for a wake and set out food and drink aplenty, taking comfort together. And I was there to hear it all, and right after that I saddled up a swift old mare and came to tell you the tale as fair. And then I saddled up a wheel to spin you the whole appeal. And if I jumped upon a berry bright to tell you all this tale tonight, well, forgive me, friends, for one last joke so airy light.